Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on ASFX, American Scientific Resources Incorporated. I did this one on Friday and had a good day today. Looking at the daily chart real quick, you can see had a nice green day, and I've been getting a lot of questions saying, all right, it looks like we're bouncing and it's time to bounce and all that sort of thing. And I'm not trying to, pee in anybody's Cheerios, but you can't quite call it a bounce yet. Going back to the daily, is it moving down anymore? No. But is it bouncing? Well, it depends on, if you're a day trader and you bought in down here, yeah, that was a definite bounce. But if you're in this and using the daily chart as your guide, yeah, it bounced today. But as far as what the overall chart, I mean, today it would just be considered a stabilization day. More is required to be able to call this a bounce, besides, one green candle. Once again, that is from the context of being a short to medium to long term swing trader, or if you're just in this for the long run. It takes more than one day to create something. So if you're a day trader or something like that, yeah, for sure today was a bounce. But this will be geared more towards the longer term traders and holders, because that's who I've mainly been getting questions from. So to answer your question, no, today wasn't a bounce. It was just a stabilization day. But after this, fall right here, this is exactly what you needed. Stabilization is better than the price still going down. We're going to spend our time on the 60-minute chart because it's really kind of showing what's going on. It'll also allow me to explain kind of what needs to happen in order for this to be considered a bounce, and then hopefully turn into a reversal and then another breakout. That's kind of the when things pull back, four things need to happen. The first thing is the price needs to stabilize, then the price needs to bounce, then the bounce needs to turn into a reversal, and then the reversal needs to turn into a breakout. So right now we're in the stabilization stage, the first stage, but that's much better than being falling apart still and having the price go down. So the first thing that sticks out is we got a double bottom going now for ourselves. When you look here, you can see that we had a low right there, and then right at the same area, and bounce from there. So short-term double bottom, that's encouraging. And the other good thing that I like about this is it all occurred right around this guy right here, the 200 period simple moving average. Yes, it did drop below it, but one thing people take too literally is I think that supports, resistances are exact specific prices. They're zones, or they're webs as I like to call them. So if you picture kind of a web surrounding this moving average, you can see that it stayed well within the web and bounced from there. Which is very favorable and which is what you want to see. So now the question becomes, all right, well, what needs to happen now in order for this to, break out from stabilization into, being an official, bounce play? Well, we have some resistances, and the one today kind of got us. We did break above it intraday, but here you can see basically the lows from the 7th and 8th are forming. You can move it down here, you can move it up here. Just in this general vicinity, you can see that these used to be a support, so when it was broken it became resistance, and then today, right here, you can see it acted as resistance. So the first thing before anybody can even really talk about a bounce is we simply need a close above this level up here. This level being right about 0.038, 0.037, somewhere right around that area. And even with that, I'd still consider that, all right, this is still more stabilization. In my opinion, and remember that's all this is, it's just my opinion, bounce talk can begin to be had with closes above this level up here. Why this level? Well, same thing. This was a high on this gap down day, so this is a resistance. So I'll change that to just some weird color so we can know that at this level up here, if you get candles that come up here and start to close above this, that's when you can go to the daily chart and say, all right, the daily chart is starting to bounce. Because remember, things have to first happen on the 60-minute before anything can happen on the daily chart. Just like before anything can happen on the weekly chart, things need to happen on the daily chart. So it's kind of that pyramid effect where things have to happen on smaller levels in order for them to happen on bigger ones. So before we can have a bounce on the daily chart, we need to first have a bounce on the 60-minute, and with closes above that, that would be a nice clear bounce underway, and that would definitely produce some nice candles on the daily chart also. What's good about today was we had these three strong days here, or not days, these are hours, because this is 60 minutes, so each one of these bars represents an hour worth of time. and then we just had some simple consolidation. So what we have here is kind of a little short-term bull flag, bull pennant, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully tomorrow there will be a breakout to the upside here on, get a nice little volume bar down there too, and that would be real well setting up on the 60-minute chart. So I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I'll be back to update the resistances, but right now you're in stabilization. In order to get into bounce mode, I personally think that the price needs to close up above these areas down here. Now on the other side of the coin, let's map out some support levels. This one's pretty easy just because, as you can see, it's already taken a pretty big fall. But the support levels, simple and easy. First one being the 200 period simple moving average right there, and the other being kind of these lows down here. So if you want, you can kind of combine the two and just form a big zone down here. Z for zone, and put an S there for support zone. However you want to do it, that's up to you. But the point being, you don't want to see any more new lows put in here. If the price does decide to pull back, that's fine, as long as it bounces up from there. And if that's the case, you'll actually have a triple bottom where you have one bounce, two bounce, and then over here would be your third bounce. But ideal, obviously, you just like it to keep on going up, and that would be a best case. But resistances are a little more difficult because you have more of them, but supports, right down in this area, that's where you want to see it hold strong. So just a quick review. The daily chart's not bouncing, it's just simply stabilizing. In order for it to turn into a bouncing chart, we want to see the 60-minute chart first get a nice little bounce underway, which would entail getting some closes up here above this 0.046 region right here. So keep your eye on it, and let's see what the rest of the week does for this 60-minute chart. If there are any other questions on it, please send me a message, and I'll do my best to help you out. On another note, I'd encourage you to check out bullmarketnewsletter.net. If you go there and sign up for the emailer, you'll be sent a free ebook, which has been getting fantastic reviews. And then with your subscription, you'll get all sorts of things, from chart setups to educational things to trade ideas. We've been making our members some good money. People are learning, so it's a good combination of making money, learning, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free, no strings attached, so it's worth at least giving a try. So one more time, this is ASFX, on the 60-minute chart, and let's see what the rest of this week brings.